Now, last week, on Friday, I interviewed a couple of stockbrokers, and they said they didn't expect a good outcome this week. But we're seeing the stock exchange is up today. Why do you think this is?
Well, I guess just given where the market was last week, we had seen some of the stocks trade up significantly. So perhaps that could have formed the judgment that going into this week, there'll be a bit of profit taking. We did see profuse profit taking, especially in the banking sector. The sector was down today by about 185 basis points. But just given the sort of demand we saw on the institutional side, especially from international institutional side, for the building materials, we did see significant interest in Dangote cement. And Dangote cement, like you know, is about 25% of market cap. So that's why the high close of Dangote cement gave the market the push that we saw today.
What do you think is driving the sudden demand for Dangote cement?
Well, if you look at where the price of Dangote cement is, it's currently trading around 113.8. Given where most analysts put the price, most analysts expect the price to trade up to 154. So it does look like an interesting play. Also, given just what is happening in that sector, government appears to be supporting the sector with a restrictive importation on cement. So we think the company, being the market leader in that sector, has a very good earnings forecast, and we think that's primarily what is driving interest in that particular stock.
Now, Nigerian breweries, we're seeing better than expected results. Now, we also saw their stock go up today. It was one of the top gainers today. Is this a knee-jerk reaction?
Not particularly. I mean, we have already seen the dividend result, but today we saw the details of the result itself. Just like you said, profit turnover was up by 24% and profit after tax was up by 25%, which is better than expected. And I think that has to do with the increased capacity as well, based on the recent acquisition they have done. So clearly, it does look like an interesting play. But to be honest, I think it's one of those stocks that have traded up significantly and we'll expect it to gain a few more points. But towards the end of the adjustment for the dividend, we do expect the price to correct a bit.
Now, we did see the banking sector perform quite not so well today. And one of the stocks that surprised me was UBA. I mean, the UBA investors couldn't get enough of this stock, and suddenly we're seeing it coming under pressure. Do you think UBA's time is up?
Well, in terms of the technical base of UBA, this stock, by the way, has traded from somewhere around 162 to 3 naira. So clearly, there's a bit of profit taking in the stock. And just based on the forecast warnings that we saw previously, it does look like on the technical side, it does look like the price really has reached its limit for now, and we expect a bit of profit taking to continue. It all depends on where the demand is coming from.
And where is the demand coming from?
We think the demand mostly will be coming from long institutional investors who think that it's still a good fundamental buy. Some analysts think there's a bit of play for the stock, and clearly the price is still far from where most analysts are putting it, somewhere around 5 naira. So there's a bit of interest in the stock, especially from international side.
Now, we did see a couple of earnings forecasts come out today. We saw UAC of Nigeria. We also saw Nestle Nigeria. But I'm first curious to know, how do you traders take these earnings forecasts? Because they're not always so accurate.
Yeah, well, you're right. Some of the forecasts are not as accurate as one would expect. But I mean, it's a good thing for our market. And basically what people are looking at is whether it's in line with the forecast of some other analysts. And if it's in line, then clearly the traders will react positively to such results. But what we did see today for Nestle and UAC, we didn't really see anything different from what is expected. So those stocks didn't really see much reaction. But for UACN, we did see quite a bit of interest. Stock traded robustly, trading about close to 2.1 million shares, but even though the price stayed flat at the end of close.
Now back to the stock market, what stocks are you buying?
Well, we're still strong, essentially for the banks. I mean, just given where the PEs are, given the sort of dividend yields, high dividend yields that they have, robust trading liquidity that we see, most of them trade over $1 million a day. We still feel that it's a good demand for the banks, especially Zenith Bank, given where its PE is at the moment. We also see a bit of strong interest in infrastructure, especially Lafarge WAPCO plans to increase its capacity to 4.2 million tons per annum. We still think there's a bit of upside in that stock. Current price is somewhere around 40. We do think the price should be trading around 54. So there's a bit of tidy upside there. Also, Elsewhere, we'll probably be looking at the brewery sector. Guinness is a good play. Typically trades at its about 17% discount to Guinness, to Nigerian breweries. And given the sort of outlook we saw today for Nigerian, the sort of result we saw for Nigerian breweries, we feel confident that the stock will probably trade up to its true value, which is somewhere around 260, and it's currently trading around 209. So there's a bit of upside potential in that stock.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Jude Chiemeka, for giving us your take on which stocks to pick in the market.